Hi, I'm Ellie, your college and career coach. And today's question is what's happening with the SAT and the ACT now that the pandemic has kind of thrown everything into upheaval? And the answer is I have no idea. What I mean is nobody has any idea. But if you want advice, you should probably take one or the other of them if you can do it without making yourself crazy. So with that in mind, here's some basic information. The SAT and the ACT are two multiple choice tests that are very similar, that until recently were used along with grades to determine college admissions. There are some minor differences in my opinion, and some say the SAT is better for people who need a little bit more time to take the test because there's less questions. As far as I can tell, they're quite similar. But these tests have some very, very serious problems. First and foremost, that many people, including myself, view these tests as unfair. They're used in racist ways that can be discriminatory against low-income students. And everybody knows this. I mean, really, don't even get me started on how I feel these tests are actually literally one of the systems of systemic racism in education. I truly believe that. And I'm hardly the only person who does. Colleges are keenly aware of this, and the reasons that they hold on to these tests are complicated and, to me, actually kind of inexplicable, honestly. Even before 2020, many colleges had begun to make the SAT and the ACT optional. And then, as you know, the pandemic hit, many schools were closed. The SAT itself was canceled in some cases. In other cases, very few were administered. So generally, there was chaos. And even though some students did manage to take the SAT, many, if not most, colleges eliminated the SAT or ACT requirement or made them optional. The UCs went ahead and became test optional through 2022 and then made the relatively radical decision to become test blind till 2024. I would not be surprised if they never use the SAT or the ACT again, though they will probably use some kind of test. And the CSUs have made the SAT and ACT optional through fall 2021. Then they have not yet decided. Right now, what they're saying is they're going to go back to requiring it. I don't know, and I think they don't really know if that's actually the case. I also think that when we get back to whatever passes for normal, when that might be, less and less colleges will require the SAT and more will make it optional. So with all that in mind, why am I saying that I think you should go ahead and take the SAT and the ACT if it's safe for you to do so? Here's why. First of all, some students are high test scorers. They just are. And if you are one of those people, having a high SAT or ACT score at a test optional private college could really help you, actually. If the CSUs return to using them, you're going to need those scores, so you might as well have them. And finally, the UCs may end up using SATs or ACTs to allow people to place out of classes. So with that in mind, I would encourage you to go ahead and take the SAT and or the ACT, but don't make yourself crazy about it. It's not worth it. And please make sure it's safe. Don't drive yourself nuts if the local center is closed because the pandemic is really bad. Don't make yourself nuts finding the one place that's open 400 miles away. Don't do that. It's not worth it. I'm hopeful that things will be better soon and I can make a different video. But as long as the pandemic is happening, that's my advice. If you do take them, and I hope you do, go ahead and watch my next video on how to prep for the SAT and the ACT without going bananas. So that's all I have for today. This is a short one. Take care, stay well, and thank you for watching.